Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike, and this time we're taking a look at the Spartan Collection Spartan Palmer action figure. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. Guys, I'm super excited to have this figure in hand. I've been waiting months to get this thing. And I actually ordered this from a seller on eBay out in California, and it got lost in the mail. I wasn't even sure if it was going to show up or not. Nonetheless, here we are. Here she is. So if you're watching this video, you don't know anything about the character other than the fact that she's a Spartan and she's in Halo. Sarah E. Palmer was born on 13 April 2527 on Luna. Her parents harbored resentment toward the UNSC. They didn't like the government and its control over the colonies and things like that. They were actually killed when she was very young. She was adopted by a man who did not hold the same views as her birth parents did. And he actually encouraged her and supported her in wanting to join the UNSC when she became an adult. She enlisted in the UNSC Marine Corps. She volunteered for ODSTs, went through their selection, passed that. She served 12 different tours of duty on 8 different worlds as an ODST during the Human Covenant War. In January 2553, she was recovering in a medical facility from wounds that she had sustained on a mission, and she was approached by June A266. Now, if you guys have played Halo Reach, you know exactly who that is. June was the team sniper for Noble Team. He's a Spartan 3. He's the only surviving member of Noble Team, and to my knowledge, one of the only surviving members of the Battle of Reach. So he invited her to become one of the first candidates for the new Spartan 4 program. Initially, she resisted, but she came around. She went through selection, passed that. She went through the augmentation process. Of course, she became, one of the best Spartan 4 candidates in existence. She rose through the ranks to become the commander of the Spartan 4 program. She's second in command to the Spartan 4 program under Rear Admiral Musa. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, Musa is a veteran of the Spartan 2 program. His body rejected the augmentation process, and because of that, he volunteered to serve the UNSC as a member of ONI, the Office of Naval Intelligence. Musa is responsible for not only helping to create the Spartan 4 program, but he's also responsible for establishing the Spartan branch as a separate independent branch under the UNSC command structure. So she's, a well-rounded character. In my opinion, I would have to ask what's not to like. Being as hard-nosed as she is, sometimes it brings a bit of humor or comic relief, if you will, to the storyline. She's even tried to rub noses with the Master Chief on at least one occasion. I thought that was pretty funny. So you can see here, really nicely done portrait. Her head sculpt is just phenomenal. Her armor looks really good. It's kind of shiny. It's got minimal paint apps there. It looks like they've done some dry brushing on the armor, perhaps. Of course, she does include 5 additional hands to interchange. She has 2 M6G Magnum sidearms. She includes the MA5D assault rifle. You guys can see the figure up close there in the packaging. And then on the back, you have a action pose of the character along with the other figures in Series 3. Now, one of the things that I'm going to point out here that I do disagree with, I don't think we needed another Master Chief in Series 3. I get that he includes the grapple, but I think it would have been more productive for them to use that slot for an unproduced character. All right, here she is outside of the packaging, and as you can see, this is a really, really nice action figure. Her head sculpt is identical to her in-game appearance. Her armor's nicely done all the way around, and if you don't know, she's wearing scout armor. Here's the additional head sculpt. Really nice. Head sort of limited because of the neck seal there. Forward and lateral movement there at the shoulder. Bicep rotation, double jointed elbow. And No elbow swivel. Swivel there at the wrist, as well as pivoting. Forward and lateral movement there at the thigh rotation. Joints are really tight on this figure. Double jointed knee, ankle pivot, and it's on a ball joint. Torso's on a ball joint. Full range of motion there. Really, really nicely done action figure. I like the way her armor is segmented. It's really unique and just has a different feel to it than previous Spartan figures. Now for height, she stands approximately 17 centimeters in height, and for those of us here in the United States, she is 6 3/4 of an inch tall. Let's compare her to the Master Chief. And that's accurate for scale. If you guys have seen Halo 4 when she's talking to the Chief. Now, one of the things I want to point out is her height is stated as 6'9". Master Chief, I think, is 7'2" inside of his armor. So this is correct, but it's correct inside of her armor. If you guys recall the cut scenes from Halo Spartan Ops, when she's standing side by side with Lasky, she's only slightly taller than he is. So outside of her armor, Palmer is probably somewhere around 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 feet. But her armor definitely adds height to the character. So her stated height of 6'9" would be correct in her armor, not outside of it. All right, let's take a look at her weapons. She includes dual M6G Magnum sidearms. And of course, they have ports on either side of those to go on her right thigh. They should have a port for one of them to go on the left, and it doesn't. So I don't know if this is a quality control issue or if this was intentional. But plug in just like that. The other one should plug into that port, but it can't because it was placed on the wrong side. There she is with the M6G Magnum sidearms. Of course, she includes the MA5D assault rifle. And it'll plug into the port on her back. So there she is with the MA5D assault rifle. Overall, I think this is a really great action figure. I think they knocked it out of the park with the head sculpt, the armor, the level of articulation, the attention to detail, the accessories. I'm a little disheartened about the M6 Magnum with the port being on the wrong side, but that's a very minor issue. That's something that can be remedied later on. You know, I can always pick up a second figure and resolve that issue. But for the time being, I can use this figure as it is. So guys, there is the Spartan Collection Series 3 Spartan Palmer.